Hey, wake up.
Oh,
What is the time now?
I don't know.
Oh, it's time to watch Parasite.
Oh no, not again.
Hello, I'm Choi again.
Hi, Antti here again.
Now we are filming here about Korean movie Parasite, and we're gonna review about it. We found some unique and some common kind of like stuff from the movie, and then we're gonna talk about it. Antti has some questions about those some scenes, so I'm gonna explain what is in Korea, and then also if there is any similarities or differences, we can talk about it. Internationally, only director Bong was sort of highlighted, but then also actors in the movie. Some of them are really famous in Korea, especially the guy from the poor family, the father guy. He's pretty famous. He's been starting his career from like late 90s, so it's been about 25-30 years. So like that.
It was really like interesting because I didn't know any of the actors, but I found out from Choi that the guy who plays the father of the family is sort of like Martti Suosalo level of famous in Korea. So and I guess some of the other actors are also famous. So.
Especially the son and daughter, they are young, but then they are also they have been recognized for their good acting, so they are pretty famous in Korea recently. We now open the laptop and we're gonna watch the movie.
Yeah. Also.
First, we talk about this public Wi-Fi. Son and daughter, they were like trying to find this kind of free Wi-Fi. At least in Helsinki, because in the city center area, the Helsinki city provides the free Wi-Fi, so you can just get access without entering any of your information.
When you're traveling, at least for me, it's always like I have to find like a restaurant or a museum or an airport to get Wi-Fi. So
yeah, it's really annoying that you have to enter your email address, and then you ended up getting a lot of spam emails. In Korea, there is even the government is providing this kind of free Wi-Fi network all over the Korea, so you could just access to the free public Wi-Fi and then use it for free. So it'll be pretty useful. Can you get the
Wi-Fi.
signal?
Crap Wi-Fi here.
Yeah. Then you can get this free Wi-Fi basically all over Korea, and then so it'll be really easier for us to travel when we are going to Korea in June. Then it'll be really easier for us, and then we don't even need to get any SIM card. If you guys are traveling to Korea, then definitely there is no worry for looking for any Wi-Fi, because basically it's all over. I'm not sure about the countryside, but then at least the urban area, you can get most area you can get the Wi-Fi. This family was living in this kind of semi-basement house, which is the window is basically on the street level. In Korea, it's very common. My guess is probably the building owner wants to maximize the profit. That's why they make the house, the semi-basement house, and then also rooftop house, which is not penthouse. Houses are kind of the cheapest options, so that normally poor students or like people like are not really having much money, they normally live those. What about in Finland? Are they like these kind of like a semi on the basement house or the rooftop house for cheap price?
Well, I think the rooftop houses are for extra price actually.
It's like penthouse.
Yeah, but the semi-basement ones I haven't really seen. Only once, like a friend of mine lived in Kallio in this old apartment building, and his like apartment was below the street level, so that the window from inside it was on eye level, and outside it was on the lawn level on the street, and then you could like watch people's feet, and sometimes you would get like a dog pissing on the lawn. And
I think basically that's the same type than in this movie.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, actually I've never heard, but then I just heard from you for the first time. But then
and I think it's the only one I've seen. So
okay, so it's not really common, but that's
maybe
why
some older buildings.
In case you are maybe traveling to Korea, if you want some unique experience, then probably, I'm not sure if it's available as for Airbnb or any like hostel option, but if you're lucky, you may find
Yeah, but
also
that
some
could be like some extra cost on Airbnb, like an authentic semi-basement experience.
yeah, like experiencing the Parasite family. The movie that the rich family guys are always telling about some kind of weird smell. Because it's the smell of this semi-basement house. Because semi-basement is basically it's the underground, so it's very damp. So it's very damp and humid. So that kind of smell.
Yeah, sometimes you would get like these in these old storage basements. This sort of like it's the famous perunakellari haju, the smell of the potato basement. That's like a classic as well. So,
yeah, that's pretty much the same. The son and then his friend was like drinking. I mean, they just got this soju, basically soju and some side dishes outside of this kind of small supermarket, and they were just like drink on the like table in front of the supermarket. In Korea, it's really common because basically every convenience store has this small plastic table and chairs, so that you just buy this some beer or like alcohol from convenience store, and then you can just drink there right away, eating right away. But then, I don't know, personally, 11 years of living experience in Finland, that it would be kind of bizarre, or like, I don't know, I sort of guess that might be even illegal. People buy this maybe beer or alcohol from Alko or Arkioski or even S Market, that
and then they have a terrace after.
Exactly. There's like, imagine the supermarkets have like their own terrace, and then they can just drink right away. Would it be really like kind of weird concept in Finland? Even would it be legal?
I think it might not be legal because you would have to have like this liquor serving license. So if you're like, for example, serving tables and having the tables like waiting tables and having customers there, and I think having a thing like that in Finland might probably be something that you would get in trouble with the law with.
Yeah. And normally supermarkets don't really have those kind of thing, those kind of license. In Korea, they do it by yourself. They just put these tables and chairs, but yeah, that's why they don't even need to care. But probably like those employees, they're cleaning that up, but that's all. They don't really serve anything. So you have to go inside and buy and come out and drink and eating.
Oh, right. And of course, and if there's food involved, then you have to have the hygiene pass, and and have to have it inspected 3 times a year. And,
yeah. Well, but I mean, maybe that's the reason Finland doesn't really have this kind of food poisoning, scandal or anything. I mean, very rarely. This is the like one of the things that I would like to introduce to you guys when we are traveling in June. That it's also pretty affordable option. You just buy this. For example, 1 bottle of soju is in Alko is like 10 euros, but in Korea convenience store it can be like 1 or 2 euros. So yeah, I mean that would be pretty fun, and then I don't know, very exotic experience.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's something maybe you can enjoy some experience that which might be illegal or is not really existing in Finland.
Yeah, and I guess that's a pretty social way of having that stuff as well. Like if you're right on the street, I guess people might stop by and say hi and whatnot. So.
Especially the summertime is very popular. I mean, wintertime, not much because it's really cold. That'll be one thing that also probably you guys have to try if you're traveling in Korea. Just like, go most of convenience stores have this chair, the plastic table and chairs. So, and those are not really owned by anyone, owned by this convenience store, but you can just get in if it's empty. So it's like first comes, first served, their rule. So that would be pretty like interesting experience.
Sounds like it could work in Kallio, for example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very feasible for Kallio kind of atmosphere. Then you'll see. The whole family was having some meal at a restaurant, which is like there are a bunch of those taxi drivers here, because like, which might be also really sort of exotic concept for you guys. But in Korea, we have certain restaurants for taxi drivers.
So it's not allowed for anybody else?
No, it's allowed. You can get in, but then for taxi drivers, that's why the characteristics are basically it's really cheap. It can be like something like cheapest maybe like €1 or €2. Also, it's a buffet type, and then basically there are like meat dish and then some side dishes. But it's like a buffet, so you have to serve yourself. But those are very cheap options. And then also some says that even in Korea, if you're ended up in some kind of random town, random place, you don't even know, then the best restaurant would be the taxi driver's restaurant. The chefs are basically middle-aged women normally, and then they are making their food really good. That's really highly recommended, and then I'm sure I'm gonna bring you guys at least once or twice to these taxi drivers restaurants.
Yeah, it sort of sounds like the sort of like a similar concept as like, you know, truck driver food at gas stations. Like if you see a gas station with a restaurant and there's a lot of trucks parked outside, you're like, oh right, that's the place you can get some good matta, some good truck driver food, because they drive around the roads all the time and eventually they find the best place, and so that's sort of like a recommendation. So that's like a good place if the truck drivers go there. So I would personally like, because it's like this, well, I like the cliches. It's like heavy, greasy.
Yeah.
Like
you get stuffed at least. Okay.
Well, nowadays, because there's a lot more chain places, so there's not that many, maybe not that much difference anymore between the places. But at least a while ago, before everything became like chain stations, so then there would be like lots of individual differences.
Some like family owned, and then they have like own family recipe they are using. So if you guys are traveling to Korea, then definitely this taxi drivers restaurant is recommended. And then how to find is you just take a taxi and then ask the taxi driver, okay, where's your restaurant? Where's the restaurant you'd go? You are going normally. In Korea, this kind of private tutoring for elementary school, middle school, and high school students are really common, as private education is really common in Korea. But then, in my impression, in Finland, public education is very emphasized, so that I haven't seen much of actually private education sector. For example, especially private tutoring, especially for these high school kids who is preparing for entrance exam, for example. But then, is it really true, or am I like not really seeing?
Well, I think there's some, like for example, some preparation courses if you want to like prepare for example for the like law degree entrance exam, or that sort of tailored courses nowadays do exist. But for example, for private schools, there's a lot of pushback, like you're messing up the public system, let's not have private schools, like they want to keep it on the public system. But yeah, but there's some private tutoring nowadays as well, like, and I guess it's sort of part of the gig economy as well. Like people are like, yeah, I can do some language teaching or whatever teaching on the side, and some people use
it. But then are they like specifically aiming for these teenagers, or it can be just anybody?
I guess, well, yeah, I guess the studying age sort of tends to be at the younger side, but like for example, one thing that's maybe pretty common, like if you're like a foreigner and you want to apply for citizenship, and then you have to pass this language certificate exam kind of thing. So then I guess then the student can be more or less any age.
Okay, so it's more like private lesson. In that way.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier that it's not for older people, it's lessons, and for younger people it's tutoring.
Yeah, because in Korea we have these private lessons for adults, but it's private lessons for adults have like in different term, because normally private tutoring is in Korean called 과외, but 과외 is more like it's the term especially for those teenagers. It was end of the video, and now we're gonna have sauna and then jump ourselves into the frozen lake. Okay.
Yeah, and the Parasite movie, definitely recommend it. It's
yes.
Like,
so if you guys haven't watched the Parasite movie, then definitely watch. And then we hope we didn't give much spoiler. Yeah, too much. All right. Yeah. Okay. Then bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.